The hospital intercom crackled to life just as Marcus Webb lifted his daughter from the waiting room chair. Her routine checkup was finished, her small hand already reaching for his collar when the words stopped in cold. Code red. O-negative blood needed immediately. Pediatric emergency. All compatible staff report to the donation center. Marcus stood frozen in the corridor. His 6-year-old daughter, Lily, pressed against his chest. O-negative. The rarest blood type. His blood type. Lily tugged at his sleeve, her eyes wide with innocent concern. "Daddy, can we help?" Before he could answer, the donation center doors burst open. And there she stood. Victoria Ashford, CEO of Ashford Industries, the woman who had shattered his dignity just hours ago. Her face was pale with terror, her designer heels clicking frantically on the linoleum. Then she saw him. The janitor she had humiliated in front of dozens of employees. The man she had treated like he was invisible. The man who now held her daughter's life in his veins. 6 hours earlier. The morning had begun like any other for Marcus Webb. His alarm rang at 4:30, the same time it had for the past 3 years. He moved quietly through the small apartment he shared with Lily, careful not to wake her as she slept curled around her stuffed elephant in the single bedroom. The coffee maker gurgled as he pulled on his work uniform, navy blue pants, matching shirt, his name stitched above the pocket. At 34, Marcus had learned that pride was a luxury he couldn't always afford. He had a degree in mechanical engineering from Ohio State. He had once designed aerospace components, once worn suits and led teams where people called him sir. That life ended 3 years ago. Right alongside everything else. His wife Sarah's medical bills consumed their savings first, then their home, then the future he had built. When she lost her battle with cancer, Marcus was left with a mountain of debt and a 3-year-old daughter who still asked when mommy was coming home. He took the first job he could find. Ashford Industries needed janitors at their corporate headquarters. The pay was modest, but it was stable, and the hours allowed him to pick Lily up from subsidized daycare by 3 o'clock. He mopped floors and emptied trash cans in the same building where engineers discussed designs he could have improved in his sleep. But he never complained. He never mentioned his past. He simply worked, because Lily needed him to work. And that was enough. The lobby of Ashford Industries gleamed with marble floors and floor-to-ceiling windows. Marcus arrived at 5:30 to begin his shift, cleaning cart loaded with supplies. Thursdays required special attention. The executive team held their weekly meetings, and Victoria Ashford demanded perfection. He worked methodically, polishing windows, buffing marble floors, wiping counters, his routine as precise as a heartbeat. At 7:15, he was nearly done. His cart was positioned near the elevators as he buffed the last section of floor. He didn't hear Victoria approach. He only heard her voice, sharp, cold, cutting. "What is this?" Marcus looked up. The CEO stood 3 feet away in an immaculate designer suit, blonde hair pulled into a severe bun, expression carved from pure disapproval. She was gesturing at his cleaning cart, which blocked part of the executive elevator path. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll move it right away." He reached for the cart, but she continued, voice carrying across the lobby where early employees paused to watch. "If this is the standard we hire now, no wonder everything keeps falling apart. Look at this equipment scattered everywhere. Blocking executive access. Creating hazards." She turned to the security guard. "I want a report on my desk by noon." Marcus slid the cart aside, controlled and calm. He had learned that reacting only made humiliation worse. "I apologize," he said softly. "It won't happen again." Victoria paused, studying him for the first time, his uniform, his tired eyes, the streaks of gray in his dark hair. Whatever she saw made her lip curl faintly. "See that it doesn't." She walked past him, heels clicking like punctuation marks on the marble he had polished for over an hour. The lobby was silent. Employees stared. Someone whispered, "Poor guy." Marcus pretended not to hear. At 3 p.m., He would pick up Lily. He would make her laugh on the bus ride home. Victoria's cruelty would fade into another scar he didn't have the luxury to tend to. He had survived worse. He would survive this, too. St. Vincent's Hospital, afternoon. The pediatric clinic buzzed with noise. Marcus signed Lily in, found seats, and opened a picture book to pass the time. Lily was small for her age but fierce. Her monthly checkups monitored the mild heart murmurs she'd had since birth. So far everything looked stable, the doctors always said. Stable. Marcus clung to that word like a lifeline. At 3:15, the nurse called them back. They were passing the emergency entrance when chaos erupted. A gurney burst through double doors. Paramedics shouted instructions. Marcus pressed Lily against the wall to let them pass. He caught only glimpses. A small girl, oxygen mask, pale face. Female, 7 years old, a medic called. Acute abdominal hemorrhage. Vitals crashing. Mother en route. The gurney disappeared. Daddy? Lily whispered. Is the little girl okay? The doctors are helping her, Marcus said, steadying his voice. That's what doctors do. But the image followed him down the hall. 20 minutes later, as Marcus carried Lily back toward the lobby, a scream tore through the corridor. He ran toward the sound. A wheelchair lay overturned. A nurse knelt beside the same little girl from earlier. Now convulsing violently on the floor, her fore ripped out, eyes rolled back. I need help, the nurse cried. She pulled out her fore, her mother still isn't here. Marcus set Lily against the wall. Stay right here, baby. Don't move. He dropped to his knees beside the child. Old first aid training kicked in. He turned her gently onto her side, cushioned her head with his jacket, and held her steady until the seizure passed. Get a doctor, he told the nurse. Now. The seizure lasted 43 seconds. Marcus counted every one. You're okay, he whispered as her eyes fluttered open. You're safe. I've got you. Tears streaked her cheeks. Her small hand grabbed his wrist. Please, she whispered. Don't let me die. My mommy isn't here. Please don't let me die. Something inside Marcus shattered. He thought of Sarah. Of holding her hand as she slipped away. Of promises he couldn't keep. You're not going to die, he said firmly. I'm right here. The medical team arrived, lifting her onto a new gurney. Lily ran to him, wrapping her arms around his legs. You helped her, Daddy. You saved her. He kissed Lily's hair. Somewhere nearby, a woman shouted, Where's my daughter? Please. Victoria Ashford ran past him without seeing him. Blood bank, crisis mode. We're completely out of O negative, the coordinator said urgently. The regional center can send 2 units, but they won't arrive for 4 hours. 4 hours is too long, Dr. Chin replied. She'll crash again. Marcus was still in the lobby, waiting for the crowd to clear, when the intercom sounded. O negative blood needed immediately. Lily squeezed his hand. That's your blood, Daddy, the special kind? Yes, sweetheart. He stood. We need to help someone. The donation center was full, nurses, techs, and staff being tested and rejected. O negative was rare. Marcus stepped forward. I'm O negative. I want to donate. The coordinator looked up sharply, hope flashing in her eyes. Are you sure? We'll need a large amount. It's risky. I'm sure. 15 minutes later, results confirmed. You're a perfect match, she said. Exceptionally compatible. 1 in 10,000 rare. That's when the doors burst open. Victoria staggered in, hair undone, makeup smeared, panic etched into every line of her face. My daughter, someone said, someone might, please. And then she saw him. The janitor. The man she had humiliated. The man she had dismissed. The man who would save her child. He's agreed to donate, the coordinator told her. Victoria froze. She had nothing to say. The donation room was small and clinical, filled with the steady hum of medical equipment and the faint beeping of monitors. Marcus lay on a narrow bed, his sleeve rolled up, a needle inserted into the vein at his elbow. Blood flowed through a clear tube in a steady crimson stream, carrying life from his body to the collection bag. Lily sat in a chair by the window, her stuffed elephant clutched to her chest, her wide eyes never leaving her father's face. She didn't cry, didn't complain, didn't ask to leave. She simply watched with the quiet understanding of a child who had learned far too early that sometimes love required sacrifice. Dr. Chen had explained the procedure carefully. The Ashford girl needed more blood than a standard donation provided. Marcus agreed to give nearly 2 units, pushing the limits of what was safe in a single session. He would be dizzy, weak, fatigued. He would need days of rest and iron-rich foods. Marcus had agreed without hesitation. "You're doing great," the phlebotomist said, checking the collection bag. "About halfway." Marcus nodded, fighting the lightheadedness creeping in. He focused on Lily's face, on the fierce love that had carried him through every impossible moment of the last 3 years. "Daddy?" Lily's voice was soft. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine, sweetheart. Just a little tired." "That little girl. Is she going to be okay now?" "Yes, baby. She's going to be okay." Victoria outside the window. Outside the donation room window, Victoria stood frozen in the hallway, staring through the glass at the man she had humiliated. Now lying in a hospital bed, giving his blood to save her daughter. She saw his daughter sitting quietly beside him, holding her stuffed elephant close, brave and patient. Victoria had built her empire on reading people. But she realized now she had understood nothing. This man wasn't just a janitor. He was a father. Like she was a mother. He had a life, a story, a past filled with love and pain and sacrifice she had never imagined. And even after she had crushed his dignity, he had chosen to save her child without hesitation. A nurse came out carrying the filled blood bags. "We've got what we need. Dr. Chen is prepping for transfusion. She should stabilize within the hour." Victoria sagged in relief. In the donation room, Marcus slowly sat up, dizzy, accepting a cup of juice with a tired smile. Lily ran into his arms, hugging him tightly. Victoria watched them, and felt something she hadn't felt in years. Shame. Deep, burning shame. The transfusion. The transfusion took 45 minutes. Victoria stayed outside Emma's room, watching the monitors as the blood Marcus donated flowed into her daughter's fragile body. Her vital signs rose. Her breathing steadied. The gray drained from her cheeks. By 7:15, Dr. Chen finally emerged. "She's stable. She'll need surgery tomorrow, but the prognosis is excellent." Victoria collapsed into a chair, tears streaming down her face. "Can I see her?" "She's sleeping, but yes, you can sit with her." Victoria sat by her daughter's bed, holding her small hand, whispering through tears. "I almost lost you. I almost lost everything." Marcus leaving the hospital. At 8 o'clock, a nurse entered Emma's room. "Mrs. Ashford, the man who donated blood for your daughter is being discharged. He's in the lobby waiting for a taxi with his daughter." Victoria stood immediately. "I need to speak to him." "One more thing," the nurse added softly. "He used to be an engineer. Before his wife got sick. He worked 2 jobs to pay her medical bills. He's raising his daughter alone. And he never misses her checkups." Victoria felt the words like blows. She had looked at a hero and seen nothing. She hurried toward the lobby. The lobby. Marcus sat on a bench near the exit, Lily asleep in his lap, waiting for the taxi. He was pale from blood loss, exhausted, still slightly trembling. But Lily was safe, and Emma was alive, and that was enough. He heard footsteps. Victoria stood 10 feet away, hesitant, uncertain, so unlike the icy CEO he had seen that morning. Mr. Webb, she said softly. Please, may I apologize? Marcus remained silent. You saved my daughter's life after I treated you with contempt. I judged you without knowing anything about you. I'm truly sorry. Marcus studied her, remembering Sarah's calm voice saying, kindness is never weakness. You don't need to apologize, he said quietly. I did what anyone would do. No, Victoria whispered, her voice cracking. Not anyone. I don't know if I would have helped you if our positions were reversed. She swallowed hard. Why? Why did you help her? Marcus thought of the little girl gripping his wrist, begging him not to let her die. He thought of Lily, of Sarah. Because she's a child, he said simply. Because she was scared. Because I could help. He shifted Lily gently. She's tired. I need to get her home. Please, Victoria said quickly. Let me arrange a proper car. With a car seat. Let me do something. Marcus paused. A small gesture. But sincere. A car would be appreciated, he said finally. Thank you. Victoria exhaled shakily, relief washing over her. 15 minutes later, a company car pulled up. Marcus placed Lily inside and buckled her in. Mr. Webb, Victoria said as he reached for the door. I know I can't undo what I did. But, thank you. For saving my daughter. Marcus met her eyes. I hope she recovers well. He closed the door, and the car pulled away. Victoria stood on the hospital steps long after the taillights faded. The board meeting. Friday morning, 9 a.m. Victoria faced 8 board members glaring across the table. Your behavior yesterday caused serious concerns, Harold Weston began. You abandoned investors to run to the hospital. The company cannot. My daughter almost died yesterday, Victoria said quietly. Silence fell. She needed emergency surgery. And she needed blood from the only match available, a man I humiliated that morning. She continued, voice steadying. Marcus Webb taught me something. He has nothing, no savings, no insurance, no safety net. But he has his priorities straight. He knows what truly matters. Harold frowned. Victoria. I'm not resigning, she interrupted. And I'm not apologizing for choosing my child. She stood. This company will change. We will support single parents. We will provide health insurance. We will treat every employee with dignity. Her voice was steel. You can support me, or replace me. But I'm done pretending power means cruelty. She walked out. A week later. Marcus pushed open the door to his apartment, balancing grocery bags in one hand while Lily skipped in behind him. It had been a long week. Between extra shifts at the hospital for checkups after the blood donation and juggling work hours, Marcus felt drained. But Lily was healthy, and Emma had made a full recovery after her surgery. That was all that mattered. He set the bags down when he noticed a thick envelope on the floor, slipped through the mail slot. No return address. He tore it open. Inside was a letter. And a check. Marcus stared at the number, his vision blurring. $250,000. His breath caught. The letter read. Mr. Webb. This is not charity. This is overdue respect. You saved my daughter's life. But more importantly, you showed me the kind of leader and the kind of person I want to become. I learned your story. I learned how the world failed you after your wife passed. You deserved better. This is a personal apology and a promise that your daughter will never lack the opportunities she deserves. With gratitude. Victoria Ashford. Marcus sat on the couch, overwhelmed. He hadn't asked for anything. He hadn't expected anything. He had helped because it was right, because a child needed him. Lily climbed into his lap. What's wrong, Daddy? Marcus smiled, pulling her into a tight hug. Nothing, baby. Everything's good. Ashford Industries, Monday morning. Marcus arrived early, as always. He wore his clean uniform, his name stitched neatly above the pocket. When he entered the lobby, everyone seemed to know. Employees whispered. Some smiled at him. Others nodded respectfully. He kept his head down, pushing his cleaning cart toward the elevators. But when he reached the third floor, a security guard stepped in front of him. "Mr. Webb," the guard said kindly. "You're needed upstairs." Marcus frowned. "Upstairs?" The guard pressed the elevator button for the top floor. "The CEO asked to see you." Marcus's stomach tightened. Victoria again? He had received her letter, her gift, but he didn't want special treatment. He just wanted to work, to raise Lily, to survive. The elevator doors opened onto the executive floor. Victoria stood waiting. She didn't look like the cold, polished CEO he had once feared. Her hair was down, loose around her shoulders. Her expression was warm, though nervous. "Mr. Webb," she said softly. "Thank you for coming." Marcus nodded. "I'm on the clock. How can I help?" She smiled slightly. "Actually, I want to help you." She gestured toward the conference room. "Please. Just a few minutes." Marcus hesitated, then followed. The offer. The conference room was empty except for a folder placed neatly on the table. Victoria sat across from him. "I spoke with several board members," she began. "I told them the truth. What happened at the hospital. What I learned about your past." Marcus shifted uncomfortably. "You didn't have to." "Yes," she interrupted gently. "I did." She pushed the folder toward him. Inside was an employment contract. Marcus blinked. It wasn't a janitorial position. It wasn't even close. "Mechanical engineering consultant," he read aloud, stunned. "Full benefits, flexible hours, remote options, salary." He swallowed hard. "That salary can't be right." "It is," Victoria said softly. "It's less than your skill level deserves, but more than your current position. You have experience, talent, intelligence, and you sacrificed your career for your daughter. I want to give you a chance to rebuild it." Marcus closed the folder. "Ms. Ashford, I'm grateful. More than I can say. But I can't accept something I didn't earn." "You earned it," Victoria replied firmly. "The moment you saved my daughter's life. The moment you showed me what real strength looks like." She leaned forward slightly. "And if you won't do it for yourself, then do it for Lily." Marcus's breath caught. Always, it came back to Lily. Her future. Her education. Her safety. He opened the folder again. "Will I still be able to pick her up from school?" "Yes," Victoria said. "We'll structure your hours around her schedule." He hesitated one last moment, then nodded. "I accept." Victoria exhaled, relief washing over her. "Thank you," she said softly. "You won't regret it." Marcus stood. "I'll get back downstairs and finish my shift." Victoria shook her head. "There's no need," she said with a small smile. "You start upstairs on Monday." Marcus froze. "Today, just go be with your daughter." He felt something tighten in his chest, an emotion he hadn't felt in years. Hope. Real, steady, terrifying hope. Leaving the building. Employees watched as Marcus walked back through the polished lobby, no cleaning cart in sight. Some whispered. Some smiled. Some even applauded. But Marcus hardly noticed. All he could think about was Lily, and how he would tell her their life was changing. As he reached the door, someone called his name. "Mr. Webb." He turned. Victoria hurried down the steps. "Before you go," she said breathlessly, "I want to ask you something." Marcus waited. Would you consider joining me and Emma for dinner sometime? She's been asking about the nice man who helped her." She'd love to meet you again. And I'd. She hesitated, cheeks warming. I'd like that too. Marcus blinked, caught off guard. But then he thought of Emma, fragile but recovering. He thought of Victoria crying beside her hospital bed. He thought of the letters she had written, the humiliating apologies she had given in the lobby. She wasn't the woman he had seen that morning. Not anymore. I think Lily would like that, he said finally. Victoria smiled. A real smile, soft and warm. Great. I'll call you. Marcus nodded, stepped outside, and inhaled the cool morning air. His life wasn't perfect. His heart still carried scars. But doors were opening. Possibilities were returning. And for the first time since Sarah's death, the world felt wide again. He whispered to himself. Thank you. 3 months later. The transformation in Marcus's life was slow, steady, and real. Every morning, he walked Lily to school, her small hand swinging in his. Every afternoon, he picked her up, the two of them laughing as they shared stories from their day. He still felt a little strange wearing button-up shirts again, carrying a laptop bag instead of a cleaning cart. Sometimes, when he passed the janitorial closet, he paused for a moment, remembering the man he used to be, the man he had to be. He wasn't ashamed of that man. That man had saved him. That man had saved his daughter. That man had saved Victoria's daughter. And now, that man had a second chance. Marcus worked from home most days, consulting on engineering designs for Ashford Industries, work he loved, work he had once believed he would never touch again. Victoria checked on him often. At first, it was strictly professional. But lines blurred naturally. A text asking, "How's Lily feeling today?" A message saying, "Emma won her school art contest." A late-night call during a product review, ending with laughter instead of tension. Dinner became a weekly tradition. First, just Marcus, Lily, Victoria, and Emma. But soon, the girls were inseparable. And something gentle and unexpected grew between the adults too. Not romance. Not yet. Just warmth. Respect. The kind of connection built on shared wounds and second chances. Victoria softened, no, she opened. And Marcus, slowly, carefully, allowed himself to breathe again. Lily and Emma. The girls bonded instantly. Emma adored Lily's stuffed elephant and insisted on bringing her own plush tiger to every dinner. Lily insisted they sit together, draw together, and whisper secrets that made both adults smile quietly. "Is your daddy going to marry my mommy?" Emma asked one evening as Marcus poured lemonade. Marcus nearly dropped the pitcher. Victoria choked on her water. The girls giggled endlessly. "No one's getting married," Victoria said, still coughing. "Not yet," Emma whispered to Lily, loudly enough for the adults to hear. Marcus laughed, deep, real laughter he hadn't heard from himself in years. Victoria smiled at him across the table. Something warm passed between them. Not a promise, just a possibility. A quiet moment. One night, after dinner, Marcus stepped onto Victoria's balcony as the girls played inside. The city lights shimmered below. The breeze carried the distant hum of traffic. Victoria joined him, a mug of tea in her hands. "Thank you," she said softly. "For what?" "For letting me be part of your lives. For trusting me. For letting Emma love Lily. And for letting me learn from you." Marcus shook his head. "You don't owe me anything." Her voice thickened. "I owe you everything. You saved my daughter. You changed the way I lead this company. You changed me." Marcus turned to her, searching her face. "You did that yourself." Victoria's eyes shimmered. "No, you showed me who I wanted to be." The moment held between them, soft, genuine, fragile. She didn't reach for him. He didn't move closer. But something settled there, unspoken and powerful. A beginning. A letter for the future. A month later, Marcus found another envelope in his mailbox. Inside was a short note in Victoria's elegant handwriting. Marcus, I wanted you to know something before life pulls us forward. There was a day when I judged you. A day when I spoke to you as if you were beneath me. But the truth is, I look up to you. You're the strongest man I've ever met. Not because you saved my daughter, but because you saved your own. Thank you for showing me what real leadership, real kindness, and real courage look like. If life keeps bringing us closer, I won't fight it. Victoria. Marcus held the letter against his chest, swallowing hard. He didn't know what the future held. He didn't know where their lives might lead. But for the first time since Sarah passed, the future didn't scare him. It felt possible. Open. Full of light. He folded the letter gently and placed it in his drawer beside Lily's drawings, the things he treasured most. Then he walked into the living room, where Lily was coloring and humming softly. "Daddy," she asked, "are we still seeing Emma and her mom tomorrow?" Marcus smiled. "Yes, sweetheart. We are." Lily beamed. "Good. Because Emma says her mommy smiles more when you're there." Marcus's heart fluttered. "Does she now?" Lily nodded seriously. "And I think you smile more too." Marcus laughed softly, lifting his daughter into his arms. "Maybe I do." He kissed her forehead, holding her close. Life had broken him once. But love, unexpected, undeserved, miraculous love, had begun to piece him back together. And in that warm, simple moment, he whispered, "We're going to be okay, baby. I promise."